this video, I'm going to show you 10 easy and practical etiquette rules. And I'm sure that if you apply them in your daily life, they will transform your image and also make you much more elegant. Hello, welcome to the Etiquette and Protocol channel. I'm Juliana Santiago, a teacher specializing in etiquette and co-founder of the Institute of Etiquette and Protocol. And in this video, we're going to talk about some practical and easy etiquette rules that will definitely make you much more elegant, greatly improve your image perception, and certainly make you much more well-mannered. And I want to say in advance that some of the rules I'm going to talk about in this video may seem too simple or too basic, but I'm sure that even simple things, basic rules, many people forget and end up stumbling over these etiquette rules. Some of them may have even been taught to you when you were young, when you were still a child. And that's great. I think this video will be a way for you to remember some of these rules that make all the difference. Or even for you to use this video to pick up on what can already be taught daily and in an essential way to a child. I think it will help a lot. You always ask for videos, right? And how to teach etiquette to children. And one thing that makes all the difference is for you to get to the root of it, to have within yourself what the necessary etiquette rules are for daily life, so you can teach them to the children who are close to you. If you're a father, mother, uncle, grandmother, have cousins, have nephews or nieces, it will certainly help you a lot to have this perspective in this video that I'm going to show you. Certainly, these etiquette rules that I'm going to present in this video will give you a new perspective. And these rules that I'm going to present to you, if you practice them daily, I'm sure that the way people perceive you, the impression others will have of you, will certainly be very different, because these are essential standards for someone to be seen as elegant, polite, confident, sophisticated, and of course, as someone who has class and was well raised. So it will definitely make a difference. One thing that's important to emphasize is that many people don't see etiquette as a tool. And etiquette is a way for you to meet new people, to achieve new professional or personal goals, to navigate parties and events better, and also to handle your relationships in daily life in a more refined way. And if you believe that etiquette can do all that, or if you're still unsure, stay with me until the end of this video. And I want you at the end of this video to tell me which of these essential practical rules is the most essential of all. Which one do you think is really the most important? I'd like to hear your thoughts on the 15 etiquette rules. Please share them with me. The first point is really to use words that show politeness. So words like please, excuse me, thank you, sorry. They are essential for building a well-mannered person. So in our daily lives, often because of how busy we are, we forget to thank people, even for a simple gesture. Sometimes someone got you a glass of water and you forget to say thank you to that person. It's also important to remember that these practices, the use of these words, are essential in the virtual environment as well. Many times in the digital world, people forget that good manners should also be applied. This is certainly a mistake of today, of the modern world. So, when you send a message on WhatsApp, ask someone for something or request information, don't forget to greet the person, say good morning, and thank them. It's essential for you to show that you are a well-mannered person and that this is rooted within you. I think the use of these words really shows a person's upbringing, because they're things we say every day and that are expected of us all the time. So if you use them a lot, it means you grew up as a well-mannered person, and if you've forgotten to use these words often lately, bring them back into your daily vocabulary, because it will definitely make a huge difference in how others perceive you. Another essential point, just like these good manners, is to greet people and smile at the same time. Many times when you walk past someone, sometimes when you pass by a doorman at a building, when you go to fill up your car and the gas station attendant asks you how much you want to fill up or what your payment method will be, sometimes a clerk or a cashier at the supermarket, we forget to look at the person and smile. It's essential to show that you are present there, even when greeting someone from a distance. Many times you won't greet someone with physical contact, like a hug, a handshake, or a kiss on the cheek. But you can show that you care about the other person, that what they do for you has meaning for you. You respect that person. You have affection and attention for the other. So don't forget to greet, look, and smile. It's essential. Many times, even on your phone, we greet people, pass by the building's front desk, and keep talking on the phone because we're answering something on WhatsApp, sometimes replying to something from work, and then we don't even really look at the person. So be very careful with that. The way you greet someone says a lot about you. Another essential point is a good manners practice, which unfortunately in Brazil people often get wrong. People don't pay much attention to this practice, is being punctual. So whenever you schedule a business meeting, for example, try to be punctual. If you're going to be late, it's essential that you let them know you'll be late. At social events, try to arrive on time. Of course, at a social event, you can be a little late, but unfortunately here in Brazil, we often schedule lunch for noon and people arrive at 2 in the afternoon. If the event was scheduled for noon, you can be late to a social event. About 30 minutes will still be tolerated. Nowadays, many parties even have a set duration. If you throw a party at a buffet, whether it's an adult buffet or a children's buffet, a buffet you hire, an event space you rent, the party has a set duration. So if you, as a guest, arrive at a party, for example, at 3 o'clock when it was scheduled for 1 in the afternoon, parties usually last from 4 to 6 hours. Sometimes a bigger party can last more than 6 hours, but then it's really a much bigger party. Sometimes people are more into partying, then they throw a party that lasts about 8 hours or so. But on average, parties last 5 or 6 hours. So pay attention, especially children's parties usually last 4 hours. And if you arrive too late, you miss a lot of the party. That's bad for you as a guest and also for the hosts of the event who planned for that moment, counted on your presence, and you arrive very late. So you have to be punctual. In the professional world, arriving on time and keeping to the schedule is essential for building your image. Imagine if you always arrive late to a meeting, if you're never punctual, what impression will the other person have of you? It's really important for us to think about how our actions are perceived by others. If I'm punctual, what do they see? What do they interpret about me? And if I'm not, what will they think? So it's important for us to be sensitive to the impact of our actions and try to be punctual. It's something that's definitely simple to do and will make people see you in a much more positive light. Another very simple rule that people often forget is actually holding the door for someone. This gesture, which might seem so common and part of many people's daily routine, has been largely forgotten. So, if you want to be kind, just the other day here on the channel, I got a question from a man who wanted to be more of a gentleman. Certainly a man holding a door for a woman to pass will make him a more gentlemanly, more elegant man. A thoughtful and kind man. If you are a younger person, holding a door for an older person will also make all the difference. And in the corporate world, how can you apply this rule? Simply hold the door for your client. This will show that you care about your client, that you want to take care of your client, that you pay attention to your client, and it will definitely make a big difference. And to add to the matter of holding the door, let's not forget to also thank the people who hold the door for us. Many times we forget to say thank you, to smile, to look at this person and nod, like approving the attitude they had toward us. It's essential for you to be attentive to people when they also show gestures that give you attention, that show you care, that show concern for you, even if you don't know this person. I actually have a very personal story about this topic. Once we were at a resort, me, my husband, and my daughters, but at that moment it was just me and my husband in the elevator, and a woman came in with a bunch of suitcases and a daughter. She was very well dressed, carrying designer bags, just stunning. A person that when you looked at her, you immediately thought of someone completely elegant. My husband helped her with the suitcases, and when she got to her floor, which was before ours, my husband helped her take the suitcases out, and she simply walked out right then, didn't even look back, let alone thank my husband, not even a smile as a way of acknowledging his kindness. And it was something that really affected us, because sometimes a person might be wearing the right clothes, but their behavior and actions also need to match. And even something so basic in everyday life, the person simply created an impression for us, a perception right from the first moment. And she ended up destroying that impression just a few minutes later. It's crucial to stress that she was beside a child. And these basic everyday actions are essential for you to use. And in a way, the child who is close to you, who lives with you, will learn by seeing you as a mirror for them. And speaking of clothing, you might even ask me, Juliana, but isn't dressing well an essential point? Certainly, yes. Dressing appropriately makes all the difference for you to show the environment and other people that you care. Imagine going to work any old way. For example, with a shirt full of holes, clothes that are sometimes dirty, worn out, covered in those little fuzz balls, That certainly shows that you don't care much about your appearance, about taking care of yourself, about yourself. And you also don't care about the situation you're in. Another factor is also dressing appropriately. So for example, a wedding. A wedding already has a more specific dress code. We expect, for example, men to wear suits. Some weddings nowadays have a more relaxed dress code where men often don't have to wear a tie. But when we say the word wedding, we already have an idea of what the attire should be. Usually, women wear more sophisticated dresses, clothes that are associated with party looks. You wouldn't show up at a wedding in jeans, for example, unless it really fits the context and the couple tells the guests to do so. But intuitively, that just doesn't sound right to us, So, dressing appropriately for the environment and taking care with how you dress and present yourself will make all the difference. And one essential point for me is that when I talk about clothing, not just in this video, but in all the content here on the channel, I'm not telling you to wear designer clothes or expensive clothes. Nowadays, we can definitely dress very well in a very elegant way, spending little, spending less, and taking advantage of sales. So today, fashion is for everyone. And you can definitely dress appropriately while spending less. And if you're enjoying this content, if you like the topic of this video, give it a like because it's essential for the channel. Don't forget to follow me on my other social media as well, which is Etiquette e Protocolo. And take the opportunity to subscribe to our channel. Many people watch the videos, they're always around here, but they're not subscribed. So make sure to subscribe. Continuing with our basic rules to follow every day. Certainly, one that makes a big difference is having good manners at home. I know it might seem a little confusing, but I'll explain it to you. What happens? Many times people know the rules of etiquette, they know the proper behavior they should follow, but they only do it out in public or at work. And when they're at home with the people who live there, with the people who share that home, they simply forget. Or even with the employees who sometimes work in that house providing some kind of service. So be very careful with the way you interact inside your home. So avoid yelling. When you're having a moment at the table, live that moment. Try to practice table etiquette rules. Talk to your child. Don't keep fiddling with your phone. It's something very common that we see in so many people's homes. Sometimes it happens in your house or you've seen it in someone else's house. At mealtime, everyone is there on their phones, each one watching a different video, watching something different on the internet. So be very careful with the way you set behavioral standards in your home. This will also reflect on the way your neighbors see you, because sometimes they might hear you swearing, yelling, or behaving badly. So this can be negative, and it also really harms the relationships of the people living in that home. We have to remember that the first people we need to show kindness to are those closest to us. It doesn't make much sense to be kind to others and then forget about these standards of kindness with our child, our husband, or our wife, you know? And another point which is essential, right, and should be an etiquette rule that everyone applies every day is not to speak too loudly. I know that many times when we're talking and there are a lot of people speaking, we end up raising our voices, but we need to watch ourselves a little and be careful with the volume we use when we talk. This is essential, especially in public places. Many times when we're at bars or parties, we might get carried away, sometimes drink too much and end up speaking very loudly. And now talking a bit about the modern world, an essential point is having digital etiquette. Many times we worry a lot about our behavior and the way we're going to act when we're there, face to face with another person. Sometimes when we go to a party, we worry when we're talking to someone. But have you also noticed the way you interact through Instagram, especially through WhatsApp, sometimes through email, how you structure that email, how you organize your ideas, how do you conduct an online meeting? When you have an online meeting, do you look at the screen or do you spend the whole time looking at yourself and watching yourself? When you have an online meeting, do you keep doing other things on your computer or do you actually focus on the meeting? When you're going to send a WhatsApp message to someone, do you know how to use words well? Do you know that sending very long voice messages can come across as wrong and impolite? It might not be very positive for building your image. All this information will certainly make a big difference, and this knowledge may seem new and practical, but it actually is part of our daily lives. And one thing we need to understand is that wherever there is behavior and exchanges between people, there is always a better way to behave, there is always a better way to act. And that's why having knowledge of digital etiquette will make a big difference. It's something I see people make a lot of mistakes with. Because in-person human relationships have existed for much longer than digital relationships, right? This is something new which became much more significant during the pandemic, but it's essential for all of us to know what the best practices are. In fact, in my course, Etiquette and Good Manners, there's a module that talks only about electronic communication, about digital etiquette. And in this module, you will understand in a very detailed way the etiquette for using emails, etiquette for using social media, etiquette for using text messages, for example, WhatsApp or any other text message you use, and even phone calls, because there really are best practices for answering the phone, talking on the phone, leaving a message, or declining a call. There is a best practice for every behavior, so it's all very detailed in the course. The Etiquette and Good Manners course also covers other topics related to etiquette, such as etiquette at parties, table manners, posture and presence, so you can behave and act better even in a non-verbal way without saying a single word. It's a very comprehensive course that thousands of people have already taken. And if you want to have the opportunity to take this training, I'll leave the coupon here, YOUTUBE, so you can take this training with a special discount. So, if you want to become a student at our school and haven't taken any training with us yet, come join us using the discount coupon YOUTUBE. I'll be waiting for you there. Another point, which is also very simple and practical, but that people forget a lot, is actually forgetting people's names. Many people aren't used to remembering. They don't have the habit of trying to memorize the names of the people they interact with, the people they have relationships with. So remembering someone's name is something very basic. It's something very simple that you can do, but it makes the person feel very special. We need to understand that in a relationship, for someone to feel good around us, we need to pay attention to them. And certainly knowing the person's name is the sweetest word that person can hear from you. Because it shows that you are interested in that person, that you pay attention to them. You paid attention when she said her name. Especially when you start getting involved with someone, this is something that will make a big difference. And I couldn't help but mention that an essential point for someone to have etiquette, right? It's a basic rule that unfortunately is rarely applied. I think that out of all the ones I mentioned, this is the least applied. It's mastering table etiquette. Many people hold their fork any way they want, eat with their mouths open, and even use toothpicks to clean their teeth in front of others. Many people use their cell phones at the table, put their keys on it, don't know where to place a purse, for example, among many other basic things. But these are essential for building your daily routine and your behavior. And certainly knowing how to use the items at the table, knowing how to behave at the table, makes all the difference in how others will perceive you. They will see you as more confident, more elegant, as someone who has good manners, right? Someone who has class, who is sophisticated. Certainly this impression will be associated with people who master table manners. And if you don't know anything about table manners, shall we talk about the basics? The basic table manners you need to master? Click now on this video right here, because in this video I explain some basic things that will be essential for you to master table manners. Now I want to know which of these basic etiquette rules you think is the most important, the one that's essential for everyday life. Comment down below because I really want to know. Big kisses and see you in the next video. See you soon.